everyone. It is 8/10/2014, 3:37 p.m. here on a Sunday afternoon. It is 95 degrees here in Reintegration, California. A bit on the warm side. Now, is it reintegration or ascension? That pertaining to the soul, or souls, or should I say, our souls. We have more than one? Yes, we do. It's important to understand what we are outside of our incarnation. That is the immortal or eternal sense of what we are, in order to be able to understand the experience in which we're having now and how all this relates. So, is this, that is, this celestial body in this particular solar system, our residency here on this particular planet, and our residency within this incarnation, the consummation of all things in regards to our soul's journey within this creation? Is it? Is this where we reintegrate with the rest of our soul self that is scattered throughout this construct? Of course, scattered is not really the appropriate word here, but should I say subdivided, dispersed? Subdivided is better. I like the idea of using the word subdivision because it helps to explain things more clearly. In other words, the image that it produces, at least for me, looks to clarify the meaning of what you're saying. So, what is that I'm saying? What's the subdivision of self? Well, the nature of self, that is spirit, is that it subdivides. It bilocates. It can be at many places at the same time, regardless of distance. There is no distance. There is no macro. There is no micro, for it is all the same thing within spirit, which you are. What you're experiencing now is a dense frequency within this vessel. It's compacted. Maybe compacted would be a better word to use in regards to so-called physicality. Compacted frequency. So it appears to be denser than what it is, but within each reality that you experience within frequency is equally the same. In other words, it's just as real as any other. Because it is. So, what is the nature of what we are? I like to define ourselves as being the immortal spiritual being. I like that term. I think it clarifies things pretty well. So what is an immortal spiritual being? Well, we, in our natural state of being, are a formless non-entity, all-knowing, all-powerful, which varies in power and abilities. Now, power and abilities is dependent on the subdivision of self. We're all equal because we all come from the same place, for lack of terms. But I'll address the idea of power and abilities and why we vary in that from one another here as I continue. So, to finish the definition of what we are, in our natural state of being, we're a formless non-entity, all-knowing, all-powerful, which varies in power and abilities, and we are able to be inside and outside of our creation, subdividing ourselves through projection of selves and transmutations within personifications. The immortal spiritual being, us, becomes the very thing that it believes that it is, believes that it wants, or believes that it should be. That's my definition of the immortal spiritual being. Now, let's look at the idea of why we're here and the migration that has taken place to this consummation, as I see it, that is the celestial body, to reintegrate our souls into one. Let's step outside of this universe and look at a point of possible origin in regards to the nature of who and what we are. Remember, spirit subdivides. It bilocates. It could be at many places at the same time. Doesn't require any distance. It's not dependent on distance because distance is irrelevant. That which is micro, that which is macro is irrelevant with or to that state of being because it's all the same thing. Picture yourself sitting within a circle, literally like a bubble, okay? Now, that bubble is a universe, okay? And you are its architect, also called a prime creator or a universal creator. Now, for any to come into your construct, there is an agreement made based on the parameters of how you set up your creation, your construct. There's certain templates that you have developed that you used exclusively for your construct, from which others may come into and utilize in order to create within your construct. Certain patterns in regards to the way you have designed your creation. Again, you're the architect. So, again, you have certain templates by which are used in order for creation to occur within your construct. Therefore, when other beings come into that and make an agreement with you according to what they would like to participate in respect to your construct, they have those available to them so that they can use to create within your construct. Now, you, as an immortal spiritual being who is the prime creator of that construct, and that is spirit, be it spirit subdivides, is able to bilocate, subdivide itself, and go into other constructs as well as those that are coming into yours are doing the same thing. They are prime creators from elsewhere that are coming in to your construct to learn and participate within your construct in order to perpetuate creation. So you leave, or bilocate, subdivide, and come into this one. What happens when you come in here? Well, you make the same agreements according to what the prime creator or architect of this creation has set up, and you use the templates, patterns, in order to create within this construct. And within the process, you communicate the idea of the reason why you're here and what you're looking to fulfill. Ultimately, it is really kind of to perpetuate the idea of creation, although there's other agendas and other objectives for particular beings coming in here and participating on a co-creative level. So it varies. But let's just say you come in here for the purpose of looking to learn. Maybe learn is not the right word here, because as an immortal spiritual being, you kind of know everything anyhow. So it's not learning, it's experiencing things on a different level in order to expand oneself, in order to take from other ideas and other immortal spiritual beings' creations and be inspired from that. That's what we do. We inspire one another to produce a new creation. Take that inspired idea through the process of immersing oneself within the creation itself on a very intimate, deep level, and recording all that information within self, and then taking that, and as an architect, as a creator, doing your own spin on it. Say, that's really cool. I really like that. That was awesome. Now I'm going to do something new with it. So let's look at us as from that point of view. That's the reason why we come here. That's the agreement we made. We come in here to be able to be inspired from this creation. So how does that take place? Well, again, we immerse ourselves intimately and become the creation itself. That's how it works. Different expressions within the creation, we become those very things, and we use the templates within the creation to be able to create within the creation, as an example. Now, when a planet or immortal spiritual being becomes embodied as a planet, the planet has the ability to take from the resources of the planet itself and create whatever needs to be created on that planet. In other words, create life forms on that planet. All these things. See, so when you see life forms on a planet, the life forms really come from, at least from my understanding, in my understanding relationship to what we really are, comes from the planet itself, or the materials that are there, or with the template or patterns within the creation itself are able to take those and use those in order to form, well, create forms and create, life forms or bodies or vessels to be occupied by other spiritual beings. That's why everything is alive, because spirit is the result of life, because that is life itself. The expressions of creation is the result of spirit, or the true nature of what we are. It's just different expressions and forms in order to experience things differently. So we come into the creation, we make an agreement with the prime creator or architect, and we facilitate ourselves by becoming immersed and become the expressions within the creation, and use the templates within the creation to be able to create in order to perpetuate the idea of experience within that immersion, so that we can take that information with us, because it's all recorded. You heard of the word Akashic, that idea of everything being recorded, or Akashic records. Well, everything is recorded, because that's what we do. We record things. So we created vessels that would be able to retain those recordings within it and all this other stuff. So when the spirit leaves the vessel, it takes all this stuff with it, all this information, for the purpose of being able to recreate or, interpret what it experienced. So you're going to go through the process of what is there experientially within that creation to a certain end. And what I mean by that is like your soul's journey ends. So when I say souls, again, I'm meaning multiple, because when you come in here, you subdivide also. The part of you that has come into here now subdivides and becomes these expressions. So you reach the consummation of all things, which I believe this planet to be. My conviction at this point is, because of where it's located and all the activity that exists here, and that you have the it's basically a condensing of everything within this universe is found here. And the objective here is really to reintegrate souls into the oneness of who you are originally, the part of you that came in here as, you know, the total separation. No, that's the wrong word. The total subdivision of self, that part of self that came in here to begin with, now becomes unified at the consummation of all things. So all that what you are spread out through this construct or creation now comes into one for you to leave. It's sort of like the graduating stage, so to speak, if you want to use that term. But anyhow, that's it in a nutshell, really, of what's... This is the kind of like the... it's the purpose of life. Of course, there's a lot more in between, and all this drama and everything, all this activity that's going on, everything, which would... That's not the reason for this video. Because that just, you know, I've talked a little bit about that stuff in the past. And the focus for yourself, outside of all the obstruction that takes place here to keep you from understanding these things, because this is, you know, this is a tough place. And it's really kind of meant to be a tough place because, again, like I said, everything is focused here. You have all kinds of beings here. You have something I'll touch on here in the future about that because it will take too much time to try to deal with that right now. But point is that you need to reunite and reintegrate with self. That's why you're here. So you have to transcend. And one of the ways, or to begin doing that, is to go within, is to bypass the ego, to bypass the vessel, and go into knowing and reconnecting with true eternal self. And then your memories will start to come back. They will not be pictures. You will not. There won't be any pictures, and if there are, I wouldn't trust them. Your memories are based on the deep heart energy intent that you have deep within, and it requires processing. It took me many years to process this information to even get to this place. So the point is this: your memories are going to come from deep within. And you'll know when you connect. You'll know, because it's a knowing that goes beyond anything that you can explain. I mean, you can try, but it's not really about explaining. It's about reconnecting with true self. That's when you begin to become soul complete. You start to reintegrate with self. Does that make any sense to you? Anyhow, so that's it for now. Peace, everybody. I'm glad to be able to come back and hopefully I'll be able to continue doing what I'm doing right now. And again, peace. Talk to you next time.